guys, ET here from Sunbros, and today I am really excited to be announcing to you guys the release of a brand new video series called How to Win at Arena of Valor. If you guys follow the channel, you guys know we have a series called How to Play Arena of Valor, which is more geared to beginners of the game as well as beginners to MOBAs. Well, the How to Win at Arena of Valor series is going to be geared towards the intermediate to advanced players with really in-depth strategies that are going to help you take your game to the next level. The first video that we're going to release in this series is called How to Make a Build, and we're going to start with a brand new hero to NA, our first DC hero, and one that we happen to be getting for free, Wonder Woman. And as always guys, the place where we're going to start with this build is on the hero page. And now that we've gotten to the hero page, what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at Wonder Woman's kit and what makes her who she is in order to best figure out how to take advantage of those things using her build. We're going to start with her passive Amazon Shield. The thing to really point out here is that Wonder Woman recovers HP when she hits an enemy with a shield, and if she hits an enemy hero with that shield, the HP recovery is tripled. And as you guys can see, there's a 16 in a parentheses there, and it's an orange, which means that it builds based on the amount of physical damage that she has. So that's a good thing to note when we're building her. Physical damage will help heal her and help her be naturally tanky. On to her first ability, Sword and Shield. Now the thing that we want to note here is that even though it also builds with physical damage in the orange, it says 5% of the target's maximum HP. Obviously, we can't control how much health the enemy gets, so that's not something we're going to worry about. Now the interesting part about Sword and Shield is later on in this ability it says that enemy heroes, when she hits an enemy hero with the ability, she will receive 15% damage reduction for 3 seconds. And at level 6, as we can see, it gets all the way up to 20%. So what that means is that we don't want to be giving Wonder Woman any diminishing returns by giving her a ton of damage mitigation. We want to allow her abilities, this and her ultimate, which also has damage reduction, to do their own damage reduction without minimizing what they can do by building too much of that on her. And I'll explain that a little more in depth later when we're looking at builds. Now, her second ability has really just physical damage to worry about. Nothing else really builds into it, but her ultimate is interesting because not only does it have the physical damage buff from the damage on the ultimate, but it also does extra shield based on her maximum HP. As you guys can see in the red, there's 12%. So that means that building more health on Wonder Woman will make that shield larger, making her more effective at staying alive. So health is obviously something we're going to want to think about when we're coming up with a build for her. The other part of this is at the very bottom where it says, while she is building energy, Wonder Woman will receive high amounts of damage reduction. So the point of not getting diminishing returns on damage reduction is pretty simple. If we build items that reduce the incoming damage that we take, and we have abilities like this that have natural damage reduction, if we were to receive 1,000 damage and we have damage reduction items that reduce that to, let's say, 500, and then we have an ability like our first ability, Sword and Shield, that reduces the incoming damage at 20%, then originally we would have reduced 200 damage of the incoming damage. But since we only have 500, we're only reducing 100. So we're actually causing ourselves to have diminishing returns on what we're getting back based on how we build. So because her shield gets higher and higher with more health, we're going to concentrate a little bit more on building health than we are other things that would reduce the damage incoming. So let's go ahead and go to our build, and as you guys can see, we have a clean slate here, and what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make a build that works with her strengths and take advantage of the things that she already brings to the table. So how we're going to start off with that is we're going to start off with the jungling item Leviathan. The jungling item, now one of the reasons why we're going to go with that is because when we're talking about her abilities, her first ability is two dashes, a shield dash and then a sword dash that utilize her abilities to get closer to the enemy. Her second ability, which is the Lasso of Truth, is either going to hook the enemy and bring them to her, or it's going to cause her to go to them. And her ultimate is going to cause her to stun enemies in front of her and give her an 80% movement speed so that she can more quickly and effectively get to them again. So as you guys can see, all three abilities are about maximizing the potential for Wonder Woman to get in the face of her enemies. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to make sure that if we're going to be in their face, that we're doing damage to them. And that's what Leviathan brings to the table. Leviathan not only gives us 800 max HP to start with, And keep in mind that the item is only 1500 gold. That makes it really cheap, and it's a really easy first item to get, which makes it a little bit more effective. Additionally, we're going to take advantage of the passive Flame Magic, which deals magic damage to all nearby enemies every second. So obviously, if we're going to be in people's faces, now we're going to be doing damage to them just by being nearby. Additionally, the passive at the very bottom, Wild, increases maximum HP by 70 for every monster killed, stacks up to 15 times. So the end result of the jungle item Leviathan for us is going to be 1850 health, which is a pretty solid amount, especially for an item as cheap as 1500 gold. Plus, we're going to do damage to everyone near us. The second item we're going to be getting, of course, is going to be boots, because we want to make sure that we can stay in people's faces and we can do all that damage. We're going to go with Gilded Greaves because we're not going to build very much magic defense on her, so we want to get this amount from the get-go so she has a decent balance. But the real reason we're doing this is for the unique passive resistance, which gives us a 35% resistance to all crowd control effects. What that means is that slows, stuns, knockups, knockbacks, all that stuff that you hate to have happen to you, and now is going to happen for 35% less time, which is a pretty big deal, especially on a hero like Wonder Woman, whose job it is to be up in your face. Now we're going to go to the defensive items, and we're going to buy none other than Mantle of Ra. Now the reason we're getting Mantle of Ra is because it combines with Leviathan in a really real way. We've already talked about how all of her abilities, including her passive, get better with physical damage. Well, attack damage rather. Here's our first bit of attack damage, plus 80. Plus we're going to get armor, which is going to make us more tanky to assassins, warriors, and marksmen. And the real reason we're getting this item is because of the amazing passive. As you guys can see, the unique passive Burn deals magic damage to all nearby enemies every second. The exact same thing that Leviathan does, but they're different abilities, which means that they stack on each other. So now we're going to be doing a bunch of damage to all the enemies who are nearby, when our job is to get in their face and be nearby. So it actually works out really well for us. The next item we're going to be taking is Frost Cape. Frost Cape has a bunch of things that I'm really looking for on her, and the reasons why I'm taking them is, number one, we have cooldown reduction, which is always really solid. We have armor. Again, we want to take less damage from all the AD heroes. And then we have max HP, which, as we talked about, is not only good to make her more tanky, to reduce the diminishing returns on all those damage reduction abilities, but it's also going to make that shield that we get from her ultimate even better. Now, the additional reason is because Frost Cape's power, the passive Frost Power, after using an ability, the next normal attack reduces movement speed by 30% and deals 150 physical damage plus 20 additional damage per level. So it only has a 3-second cooldown. So we have a bunch of abilities that we're going to be using pretty regularly. The Sword and Shield can be cast twice in a row, and you can dash in once with the sword, and then you can dash in again once with the shield, and then once with the sword, and you'll be able to proc Frost Cape off of these, which slows the enemy down a lot. 30% is a good amount. It's in addition to whatever the abilities do naturally, plus deal some damage. Now, the thing that's going to really maximize that potential, so now we're dealing damage by being near them, now we're dealing extra damage just for hitting them and slowing them, which, by the way, if you guys didn't notice, the slow also keeps them near us more. It's really awesome. Then we're going to build on that even more by doing something that's a little bit surprising for those of you who know me personally. I don't like to really go a heavy mix of attack damage and tankiness on my warriors. I like to really go solidly one way or the other, but I'm going to make an exception here for her because I feel like it's really going to make a lot of sense to her kit. We're going to go to the attack section and we're going to buy Omni Arms, and I'll tell you why. Omni Arms gives you a really solid base of things all the way across the board that really are going to help her. Attack damage is great. Attack speed, great. Life steal is going to be really good for her. Getting any life steal back for a warrior is always really a plus. Plus cooldown reduction, which gives us 20% now, which makes us even more effective at casting those abilities over and over again and proccing all that extra stuff. And of course, max HP, which is something that we're looking for even in our damage items. Now, the real reason we're hardcore going with this item is because we want the passive Penta Power. After using an ability, the next normal attack within 5 seconds deals 100% more physical damage with a 2-second cooldown. Now, you guys might remember the verbiage because it's the exact same that we have on our previous item, Frost Cape. So now, every time we use an ability and then use an auto attack, we're not only going to be doing a ton of damage for being nearby, but we're going to be doing double procs on damage because of these two items' passives. So the damage is going up in the same time the tankiness is going up. really making effect of what she's all about. In the last tank item we're going to go with the Princess Diana, aka Wonder Woman, is we're going to go all the way back to the defensive side, and we're going to go with Crimson Banner. The reason we're going to go with Crimson Banner is because it gives us even more armor, as well as 15% max HP, and of course the passive Bloody Battle restores 20% HP over 5 seconds after earning a kill or assist. Now obviously she's going to be in the midst of everything. That's her job, is to be up in everyone's faces doing all kinds of damage. So the health is the really great thing here, but being able to regenerate health like that while we're in fights is pretty good. The other item I am considering right here, because I'm not set in stone, is of course Amulet of Longevity. Now, yeah, you know, the more I look at it, the more I kind of want to take this item, because it increases healing taken. It also increases maximum HP by 10%, which is going to give us an even larger shield. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with Crimson Banner, because the ability to regen health during a battle is really effective, and it's an item I found to be really strong on any kind of warrior or tank type hero. So guys, that is our build for the Princess Diana Wonder Woman, and I hope you guys enjoyed some of the explanation as to why we're going to be picking the items that we are. Now, the things that we're maximizing from Diana is we're utilizing her natural tankiness, whether it's her heal from her passive or her damage reduction from her first ability or her ultimate, to kind of use that on our side to build a little bit more damage than I'm normally used to on warriors, in order to really maximize that damage tankiness combination on her and make the most of her toolkit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Of course, check out our beginner series, How to Play, to get more, you know, tips and stuff like that on all the things that we're doing with that side. Check out our top 5 videos, and check out the Wonder Woman hero quick look video to get a kind of idea of what she's about, so you can learn how to play as her and learn how to play against her, because you know what, everyone's gonna have it for free, so it's important to have a good idea of what she does so that you can properly counter her. But thanks for watching, guys, and as always, till next time.